What's up, fellow weirdos? This is Cynthia with the Threaded Nerd. I'm coming at you with an honest review of the new game Crimson Desert. I really want to start off by saying I really wanted to like this game. I was excited to get into it and looking forward to it. All the teasers and the gameplay shown in the game description looked really cool. And I'd also wanted to get the cat village because, like, who doesn't like cute critters in a game, right? But I found myself very disappointed and it just didn't hit my mark on my expectations. So I thought I'd bring it to you guys and just, maybe get some of your opinions too. But I found that I bought it first on Steam and downloaded it to my Mac. I checked the specs of the game, and they did say that it was playable on both Windows and Mac desktops. So I was hoping that since my Mac is powerful enough to play games like World of Warcraft and a few others, that it would kind of be the same and wouldn't be that big of a deal. Well, it was not. When I was on my Mac in that first couple of minutes, even with the changing graphic settings and all the things that you do, I still couldn't get like that grainy look to go away. And it just was really not responding very well, even with an Xbox controller paired to my Mac to play this game. The reason I paired the controller in the first place was because when I first launched the game, it did pop a notification and said that a controller was recommended and would probably be better for use for that. So I automatically just went ahead and put that in there as what I was going to use to control the game. And I would say after about a solid 10 minutes of being distracted by like the grainy graphics and frustration with trying to figure out optimal settings, I was like, nah, this is not going to work out. And I requested a refund from Steam and uninstalled it from my Mac. I know Macs typically, it's like a crapshoot whether or not it's going to run good on, that system, or if it's going to just miss the mark. So, like, I knew it possibly was just a Mac thing. So I was like, you know what? I'm really excited for this game. I'm still going to give it a decent try, or at least try to give it a decent try. So I went to my Xbox, downloaded it there, bought it, all the things. And I still wanted to give the game the benefit of the doubt. Like, it looks cool. It looked right up my alley. I love fantasy, RPG type of games like Morrowind, Skyrim, Oblivion. Like, I've played all of those. I love those type of games. So the graphics, I will say, the positive was it looked way better on the Xbox. Not gonna lie, definitely wasn't grainy. It was, a little bit more fluid graphic-wise on the Xbox, so that was a bonus. That was a plus. I was at least happy with that. But this is where it really got complicated and where I just didn't think it hit the mark for me. It seemed like each action that you wanted to do, you had to hit 2 buttons on your controller just to be able to do it, or sometimes more. Like, for example, just to walk up and talk to somebody, you had to hold down the LB button on the controller, and then you had to hit X at the same time just to be able to do that. And you can see in this video, like, I'm going to kind of, obviously keep some of the gameplay up here and keep what I was doing on the screen on here so you guys can see. I found myself, really just kind of looking down at my controller, and when you're trying to get into the game, that's kind of annoying. You're sitting here trying to absorb into the story and absorb into the world, and I'm sitting there looking at my controller trying to figure out what the heck, did I just hit the wrong button? It also seemed like the action buttons were opposite of other games that I had played, and it just didn't make a lot of sense, doing, if you wanted to run instead of just pushing the stick forward to run, you ended up having to basically hit A multiple times to actually run at a fast pace, or, drop it down to 1 time. It just didn't really feel right. And when you're doing a fight scene, you were hitting LB and RB at the same time, But then at the same time, if you wanted to do a special move, you had to hold down both of those and then like use one of the triggers at the same time. It was just really, in my opinion, awkward. And now, mind you, did try to kind of like look at the settings and, see if maybe that was a thing. But even like just jumping in the world and doing random stuff was kind of difficult for me. Like for example, right here, you'll notice I'm coming up to this spot and I accidentally fell off the edge. Yeah, I couldn't get out of that. I ended up dying. He barely has enough stamina to get through there. I couldn't figure out how to get out from there. And it turns out in order for me to jump, I had to hit LB, point the cursor, and then use X to jump. And it was like a delayed jump. Like, I want to almost compare it to like Baldur's Gate when you're using like the turn-based game and you want to move and you put like this little circle in that thing there and you just jump over there, like after you hit the button. You can see I died. I was like, are you kidding me? All I did, I couldn't get out of that. So yeah, that was kind of frustrating. And of course, like, instead of putting me right back where I was, nope, it drops me out of the town completely. And then I've got to go back into things. And I kept trying to like feel like I wanted to hit the stick to move forward to like run, because I kept forgetting that the action or run button was A. So I kept crouching for no reason because I couldn't. It just really was awkward in general. Like it just, for me, the controls just didn't hit the mark. I found myself more frustrated with trying to just move around in the world than actually enjoying the game. And I kind of expected the normal buttons like Y, X, A, B, and like a few things here and there. But yeah, no, it really didn't get into it. I was picking up stuff thinking, okay, cool, I can sell that later. And everything that I picked up, I wasn't able to. Oh, and here we go. So we're back at this part again. See that little blue dot right there? Yeah. You have to basically get it in a right spot, and then you've got to use the LB and X to jump at the same time. And if you're not right where that could do, you'll either fall off and end up in a place you can't get out of, or you just won't go anywhere, basically. So to me, it was just really not very smooth, and it was kind of a little awkward, so I don't know. The controls for me were extremely awkward and difficult. I also kind of felt like the story was a bit like convoluted. Like at the very beginning of this, before this town that we're at right here, you start off and you're fighting a boss like pretty much automatically, and you end up literally looking like you pretty much died. Like there was no coming back from it, in my opinion. Like this guy that I'm playing ends up with a freaking slit across his neck, and there was blood all over the place, and he was kicked into a river with rapids. Like, how do you come back from that? There was no explanation on, like, maybe is he, like, some sort of ghost, or, like, is there some sort of, like, special thing that allowed him to come back, like, anything like that. There was, like, no real explanation on that, and I kind of felt like you ended up getting, like, a tutorial on fighting first, and then you're trying to go through and, like, figure out the beginning parts of the game, and you're not getting really that much of an explanation of what you're doing in the game, or what's going on with that. I also kind of felt like using the Greymanes was really kind of like a knockoff of World of Warcraft, not gonna lie. Greymanes were pretty much like a Worgen race in World of Warcraft, and they had like a similar wardrobe, and in my opinion it just really felt like it was ripping that off. I also kind of felt like the beginning parts where like you're going through these portals or whatever it's taking you through, like it straight up looked like the Animus from Assassin's Creed to me. So I literally was like, what the hell? Like, it really seems like they've just taken elements of others, like franchises games, and have just like tried to change it to make it their own, but they're basically the same thing. You know? Ultimately, I played this for 45 minutes. I really wanted to try to give it the benefit of the doubt, but I just had so much difficulty with just not being able to, like, get that click into the story that it just was very frustrating. And I get to a point where, like, if I can't get into the game within the first, like, 10 minutes, it's right? And then 45 minutes to an hour goes on. If I'm still not into it, I'm just like, you know what? I give up. So ultimately, I did go and end up asking for a refund on the Xbox for this too, and uninstalled it and just decided to give up. And I just kind of really felt like this one missed the mark for me. I really, really wanted to like it, but I don't. Like, I really wish they would have done the controls better. It was just really, really convoluted and just overly complicated. Like, can't stress that enough. Like, you don't need two buttons to do one one little simple thing, So I'm not sure if that's just a me thing or not. Maybe my expectations were too high. But I really just couldn't have fun with it, and I was really, really, really disappointed. So that's my honest review. Did anybody else try this game out? Let me know in the comments how your experience was, and if you had any fun playing it or not. Also, please feel free to subscribe to my Twitch channel, as I'll be uploading some content there as well shortly. And I plan on going live, especially to cover the Assassin's Creed Black Flag Resynced release. I also have some new t-shirt designs on my merch store, greedthreads.com. For the snarky sass, check out the Sass Vault section, and for fantasy gaming, look under the gaming tees. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, and let's get weird together. More crazy coming weekly.
But he just won't come down. We've got to get back before anyone notices. The chief's going to be really upset. Can you help me get him down? Gigi, get down here this instant. Hurry! You're going to get us both in trouble. Please, can you help? The chief gets scary when he's mad. Thank you. Gigi, you scared me half to death.
Think you'll make it back home in time?
Yeah, you saved us from a good scolding. If you ever visit my town, come say hi.
Sure, if I have time.
I'll reward you for your help today. I think you'd love it there. Though, I'm not sure if you'll be allowed in. Well, don't worry. I'll talk to the chief about it. Make sure you come visit.
Wait, where is your village?